Okay, friends, so I recently just did a big declutter of my house, and it really got me thinking about these 5 reasons why it is so hard to declutter our things and to get rid of them and live a more simple life. So let's go over these 5 things, and if you're interested in learning more about decluttering, then remember to watch the videos that I'm going to link below. The first one is that we put so much emotional attachment to the objects we have in our house. Whether it's a toy or something that a loved one has given us, we have put so much emotional attachment on our objects that it becomes really difficult to even get rid of the smallest thing. One thing that can really help is just taking pictures of it. If it's already in your home, take a picture of it. You don't have to get rid of it right away, but knowing that you have that picture of it. Also, my grandparents have given me several books, and so they have a lot of emotional attachment to me just seeing their handwriting. And so instead of keeping the actual book anymore, he wrote a little note in the beginning of the book, and that's the part that was sentimental to me. And so I ended up just ripping out that first page, and I keep that little first page. And who knows, down the line, maybe I'll just take a picture of it and be happy with the picture. But it doesn't have to be this quick, fast process where you're getting rid of everything. But think about a different way that you could stop yourself from having to keep everything and trying different strategies like taking a picture or having less of that thing and seeing if that's something that you feel comfortable with. So reason number 2, I think, is so obvious, and it's because we live in a consumer culture influenced country. There was a study done in 1981 that was called The Meaning of Things, Domestic Symbols, and the Self. And what they found in this book was that explores the meaning people attribute to their possessions and how consumer culture shapes these meanings. It highlights that possessions often hold symbolic value beyond their practical utility. We are such a consumer culture that it's what you wear, what you look like on a daily basis, that we contribute is who you are. So a strategy to help you overcome this is just realizing that being mindful of your consumption, and are you doing this just to impress somebody else? And I know the minimalist Ryan Nicodemus and Joshua Fields Milburn have talked about this before, and it's really being mindful. Are you buying this for yourself? Is this something that you really enjoy, or are you buying this so that somebody else thinks you're cool? Because if you're only worried about somebody else's impression of you, then it's not who you really are. It's just how you want to be portrayed to somebody else, and most likely it's somebody that you don't even really care about, because if you did, you know that they wouldn't care. Consciously evaluating what the item has beyond just the societal impact will really help you. So thinking about, yes, I am going to take this into my home, I want to have this, but am I going to be able to take care of it? Do I have the bandwidth to take care of it? Is there a place for this in my home? Will kind of stop you and slow you down from just all this mindless consuming. Reason number 3 why it might be hard for you to become more minimalistic, to get rid of your things, to really work on decluttering, is that it might be a fear of FOMO. So FOMO means a fear of missing out, and there has been several studies about FOMO and how it relates to minimalism. So one of them is a study done in 2013. It's called Motivational, Emotional, and Behavioral Correlations of Fear of Missing Out. So the research investigated the emotional, motivational, and behavioral aspects of the fear of missing out. It explores how social media exposure and the fear of missing out on experiences impacts individuals' emotions and behaviors, leading to a sense of anxiety and unease. That's really helped me with FOMO and the fear of missing out and feeling like I'm not keeping up with the Joneses or whatnot. It's just that I prioritize what I'm bringing to my house, the money and the time that it takes me to buy an object, take care of the object. And I think about that a lot more than whether it's something that I see somebody else has, so I want it. You need to shift your focus from societal expectations to your own personal values, and that's not easy. I'm not saying that's a walk in the park, but knowing that these people that you see on social media, they're just portraying their best side. They're just portraying the side that they want you to see. they're not portraying who they really are on a daily basis. And so really being able to step back, and I think doing, a 6 months to a year walk away from social media. I've done it myself. I took 6 months off of all kinds of social media, and it was one of the best things I ever did. And that is because I could step away mentally from scrolling constantly, seeing people, what they have, and how I used to compare myself to them so much. And now, I might be back on it, but I can also just be like, this is not the total package of the person. This is what they're trying to portray, and what do I want to portray? What is my own personal value? Be aware of FOMO triggers can help in making intentional choices along with your personal values. All right, friends, so I have 2 more quick reasons why you're probably having a hard time and some more strategies. So let's go to number 4. But before we do, if you're enjoying learning about minimalism, remember to hit that subscribe button below and give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying these strategies or if you've gotten anything out of them. So let's go to number 4. And number 4 is that you are having a lack of clarity on your goals. And this is something that really helped me when I really got into, I want to move my life forward. I can't live in this overconsumed house that is just too full. And I really started taking living a more minimalist life seriously. That was really becoming clear on my goals, writing them down even, or posting them somewhere and reminding yourself what you really want. So there was a scientific study done by Locke Latham in 2002, and it's called Building a Practical, Useful Theory of Goal Setting and Task Motivation. The study presents a theory of goal setting that emphasizes the importance of setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. And these are called SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So just remember SMART. That's how you're going to set your goals. So if you're having a hard time and you're struggling decluttering and you're taking all this time every day and you just don't feel like you're really seeing the difference, I want you to start imagining what you want that room to really look like. Even draw a picture of what you'd like it to look and feel like. Write a couple sentences down about the feeling you want when you walk in that room, because that's going to be how you're going to get there. But it can't just be, eventually I want to be a minimalist. Eventually I'm going to start consuming mindfully. You have to start really setting relevant and time-bound goals, which means that you can say, my living room, we're going to be done with in a month. I'm going to get rid of this extra furniture that's been weighing me down that I don't want. And I'm going to give myself a month to get rid of the excess in this room. And I'm going to be done then. And then I'm going to move on to the next room. But giving yourself a timeline will really help you to get motivated, to get moving. Establish specific and achievable goals coupled with visual representations can increase and motivate you to keep living that minimalist lifestyle. So there is a bulletin board I've put up in my room now that has some things that are really my goals for myself, ways that I want to remember to live. Living more simply, living more organized, living more meaningful to me is what I've put up there, and it's what I want to remind myself to keep striving for that goal. Right, so number 5 is overwhelm and procrastination. So we're there, we're at the end now, and you are still having a hard time dealing with getting rid of your possessions. Then you might be because you are just overwhelmed and you're procrastinating getting started. And there was a study done many years ago in 1927, and it suggests that people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks more than your completed ones. And how funny is that? Because that's so true. The tasks that I've done halfway, the tasks that where I set things on my steps and walk away, I'm constantly reminded that I need to do this, that I'm not done. And that becomes like a Rolodex in my brain of all these things that I need to get done. And having all of these small projects that you never finished is a burden, and it creates overwhelm and a feeling like you're never going to get anything done at all. So we're going to break down the decluttering process into smaller, more manageable tasks. And I have done so many of these smaller declutters, these 5 minutes in a room declutters, and I'm going to link them below if you're interested. But doing more manageable tasks for yourself and actually completing something and getting it done and getting it out of your house, being able to move on with your life is going to make you feel so much better. Setting specific time frames for decluttering sessions, which I've talked about before too, putting those times on your calendar and setting aside an hour or so to really get a good declutter in. Completing smaller tasks can actually help with the overwhelm. So if you just want to start with one drawer at a time, getting that done and actually being finished with it will help you not feel so overwhelmed when you're decluttering instead of starting with one massive room. All right, friends, so that's it. Those are the 5 big reasons why decluttering and living a minimalist life can be very difficult. If you have more ideas, put them below, or if you have some strategies that could help us all out. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.